Thank you, Wendell. Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. We begin with news out of Trinidad. Burnt human skeletal remains were found in an abandoned cane field in Garasparillo on Thursday by police officers following leads into the disappearance of missing Khadija Flamand. The remains were spotted by officers of the Air Support Unit conducting surveillance using drones at Karuni agricultural land at Reform Road. Armed with cutlasses, the hunters, family, and volunteers combed the weeds of the perimeter of the ponds where water level reached the necks of persons assisting in the search. Police said the skeletal remains were found almost half of a kilometer into the dirt road in an area where garbage is dumped and burnt. Flamand, 25, last spoke to her mother on June 7, and since then, calls and texts to her cell phone were not returned. Flamand's family suspects she was killed in an apartment of a building complex and her body was carried down several floors and placed in a vehicle to be disposed of. Police had detained a woman, a nurse, a close friend of Flamand, and the guardian to her 8-year-old daughter, but she is COVID-19 positive and is self-quarantined at her home. In Barbados, a man who was the subject of a wanted notice was shot and killed in Lower Gills Road, St. Michael, on Thursday after reportedly exchanging gunfire with police. Christian Helen Clark, 27 years, was a suspect of a wanted man bulletin issued on June 8, 2021. A release from the police said, based on information received, a mobile patrol encountered a vehicle on the road and had reason to stop it in the city community. 2 people got out and fled, while a third person, I quote, was armed with a firearm and engaged the police. Police fired in an effort to defend themselves, end of quote, and the man was injured. Clark was later pronounced dead at the scene by a medical doctor. He was wanted in connection with serious criminal matters. And in Brazil, more than 200 police officers are involved in the search for a man accused of killing a family of 4 in Brazil, police say. A helicopter has been deployed in the manhunt for the 33-year-old suspect, who is believed to be hiding in a rural area located about 62 miles from the capital, Brasilia. Police say he killed a man and his 2 sons, aged 15 and 21. In their house in an attempted robbery last week. He is also accused of kidnapping and then killing the man's wife, whose body was found 3 days later. After that, the suspect, who has been identified as Lazaro Barbosa, took another family hostage, police said. They were released unharmed. He also allegedly set a car ablaze. On Tuesday, the man was involved in a shootout with the police but managed to escape. 1 officer was grazed in the head. Federal District Governor Ibanez Rojas was quoted as saying, "It's the first time I see something like this. It's an impressive manhunt, and the police officers still haven't managed to find him." And finally, the Cayman Islands National Weather Service has reported that Sahara dust over the Caribbean Sea will contribute to hazy conditions well into Saturday afternoon. The plume, which has lingered in the area since earlier this week, will also limit moisture and reduce chances of rain. This phenomenon is most common during the early parts of the hurricane season. While the plume is expected to dampen storm activity across the Atlantic over the next several days, it worsens air pollution, causing trouble for some people with allergies and respiratory problems. A decrease in hazy conditions is expected from Saturday afternoon as the dust drifts west and its concentration decreases across the northwest Caribbean. That was all for tonight's regional news. Thank you for joining. Back to you, Wendell.